Let Me Be Your Art. It's your girl Lynn, back with another video. If you haven't already, make sure you like, share, and subscribe, and make sure you follow me on my social media accounts. They are going to be in the description box below. And if you are reading the title of my video, it is going to be called Check Yourself. Check yourself, check your energy, check your space, check yourself before you walk out that door. Don't come back no more. If you know where that's from, you know where that's from. If you don't, you don't. I'm like this all the time. But check yourself so you don't have to be checked by nobody else. Check yourself so if you go around checking somebody else, they can't check you back because you already checked yourself. You get what I'm trying to say? Make sure that you are all in check. Your energy, your space, your emotions, and how you like react off things, because once you're not in check, that's how somebody else can check me. You feel me? Oh, that was nice. You know, I don't know where I be coming up with this stuff, but it'd be nice. But yeah, just make sure that you check yourself, and in that, I am going to let you know what that means, and you know, like I always do. But before we even start into checking yourself or checking myself or whatever we're doing, check, please. I'm so weird. But yes, before we go into checking what checking yourself is and checking your energy is, I just want to say how this really became a video, because I woke up like a couple of days ago and I was like in a bad mood. Like I noticed I was in a bad mood. I noticed I was more agitated than usual, and like in a sense, like I know if I'm in a bad mood off of nothing, and I know if I'm in a bad mood off of I was more agitated than usual. And usually when I wake up, me and Baki do our routine, I use the restroom and he uses the restroom. I was a little bit more agitated with Baki, more aggressive and hot, like yelling and like just being mean to him, and I didn't like that. And one instant is when we went outside and he didn't poop on command, like because I didn't feel like going back outside. I just like yelled at him and like, you know, gave him, I didn't like the way I was treating my dog, and I didn't like how my energy felt. Like I felt like I was just really heavy and anchored and dark, and like I was so aggravated at the littlest things of him. And like we came home, and then I do discipline Baki. That's my dog. If he don't listen, he's gonna get pow pow. He knows that. But I had given him pow pow because he didn't poop, because I told him to poop. And me sitting down, and when we came home, and he like already knew like to go in the cage, but he looked so scared of me, and that made me like so sad, and that made me like take a step back and really check myself in a sense of like, wow, like that, why are you doing this, you know, like. And I felt myself kind of go back in a sense of like when I was a kid, when my dad, I say quotation marks because I don't consider him my dad, I just consider him my sperm donor. In that sense, that's how I feel about it. But my dad, he always made me feel like he always made me feel like I felt like I was making Baki feel. And yes, he's an animal, but he's still a living, breathing thing. So I don't disvalue anything that's, you know, has emotion towards it or can express in any type of way. And I felt bad. I felt heavy. I felt like, dang, my dog is scared of me because he's not doing something that I want him to do because I want him to do it at that time. What logic does that make, you know? And I remember growing up that I always asked myself, like, why am I getting a beating? Am I getting a beating because I'm right, or because you're mad at me I'm right, or like what? It was never a logical reason behind most of the beatings that I got. So it was just like literally taking myself out of myself for a moment and realizing, like, even if he's my dog, once I have children, I don't want to feel like that I'm doing something that was done to me. I work on myself so much because I don't want to ever be like my parents. I don't want to be a parent like my parents. And that's not to say, oh, everything that they taught me was incorrect or I didn't like or was wrong. It's just saying that a majority of the things while they were doing it and while they were learning and growing and parenting me did not equate to a healthy upbringing. And just to bring that back, I saw myself being an aggressor, especially with Baki, and I didn't like that feeling because he's a dog, you know, he's my dog and I love him. But of course, like, if you don't listen, I'm gonna pow him, but for reasonable reasons, not because I'm agitated or, you know, I'm emotional, or because he's not doing something I want him to do when I want him to do it, in the sense of like using the restroom. That is not okay. And I had to check myself and sit back and realize, like, okay, I talked to my dog. My dog, he knows, he understands. But I told him, like, I'm not gonna pow just because if you don't go to the bathroom. If you make me take you outside and you don't poop and I know you need to poop, you just know you're gonna, you know, need to go to the cage. And I talk to my dog, I have conversations, and just like the way I said it right there, I told Baki, and he understands, he comprehends what I'm saying, and that's why I didn't like that feeling, and I had to take myself out of myself for that moment to reevaluate what was going on. The energy that was on me, the agitation, yes, I can get agitated, but that wasn't, it was an extra dose of agitation, if it made sense. And the same day after I came from, you know, taking him to the restroom, coming back, getting ready, I was like, I'm still aggravated. I'm just irritated. Like, I'm just irritated. I was irritated. And 2 days later, my period ended up coming, which kind of answered a lot of questions, but I was still so agitated that it wasn't a normal agitation, like period agitation. It was like, girl, like, your attitude is on 9. Like, I know when I have an attitude. I know my attitude is not like when I have an attitude, it's an attitude. You know, I know when I'm having an attitude, and I know when, you know, like, when I'm having an attitude, I know I'm having an attitude. But this didn't feel like, oh, I'm having an attitude just because I'm having an attitude. It just felt like, oh, I'm having an attitude and I'm gonna have an attitude, and I don't care who knows I have an attitude, and I don't care who I offend if I have an attitude, and I did not like that energy. So before I even went around and, you know, did what I need to do and run my errands, I told myself I'm gonna take my dog to the park to tell him I'm sorry, and for us to just release, because we've been inside for a couple of days and we didn't go outside for the last couple of days, and just be a part of the sun and, you know, release that energy. So we ended up going to the park. I ended up dancing at the park with my headphones and just releasing it. Not releasing it where I didn't feel so much agitation. I was still agitated a little, but it had become to a point of, like, I was in control of the agitation, you know, and the negative energy I was feeling. But to say that, to bring the topic into play, I had to reevaluate myself. I had to check myself before I walked out that door, because at the end of the day, if I had not checked myself, and if I had not told myself and noticed that, hey, my energy is not the best that it could be right now, and I don't like it, I checked myself. I don't want to go around spreading that attitude, especially if it's not deserved or if it's not needed. And it was like, hey, let me try to, instead of sitting in this agitation, let me distract myself. Let me do something to get the agitation a little bit shaken off me. And I did that. And when I say check yourself and check your energy, it's really doing that, because sometimes you are the problem. Sometimes you are the one that starts or ignites something that could have been totally, you know, disregarded because you didn't check your energy and you didn't check yourself. And checking your energy and checking yourself is not always in altercations. It's not when you're, you know, debating. It's literally checking yourself every day, in the sense of like, oh, did I do my job correctly? Or did I clock in on time? Did I clock out for lunch? Just making sure you dot your I's and cross your T's. You're on your P's and Q's. We're doing the alphabet ABC 1, 2, 3, Michael Jackson in here. But in a sense of like really understanding, you have to check yourself in order for you to have a healthy dynamic. Because when you're not checking yourself and everyone else is able to check you, that puts you in a place of low vibrational energy because it's like, oh, everyone's checking me, so I'm always gonna have to be ready. You don't ever want to be ready for nobody to check you. You always want to be able to check yourself. And if somebody needs to check their energy, and it's like, be discerning if that person should be told, hey, you need to check your energy, or if that person has to handle and evaluate how to check their own energy themselves. But I think it's important and it's really essential to notice these things and notice when to really sit down with yourself and tell yourself, hey, my energy's not where it can be, and I don't think it would be great to share the energy I'm in. So how can I fix the energy and then go out in the world? Or how can I, sit, meditate, and realign my energy so I can feel comfortable to do other things. And when I say check yourself, I don't say it in a nasty way. I really want you to check yourself, because I don't think it's healthy when people are like, oh, I'm gonna check this person, I'm gonna check that person, because it's like, why can't we communicate? Like, why do we have to check anybody? But I get it. You people do sometimes have to be checked, but when you do your own check-in, there's a minimal of a return check, if that makes sense. And to say that, yes, you guys see me on here all the time on Let Me Be Your Art, and I'm always pushing to be optimistic. But I'm not going to ever say, oh, I'm just this optimistic person, because I'm not. That would be a lie. For every light, there's dark. For every dark, there's light. That's how it is. And I will never say I'm oblivious to that. I know that sometimes I can have an attitude. Sometimes I can be, negative. Sometimes I can, use my words that they are not as light as, let me be your art. Sometimes I could be mean with my words if I want to. But in a sense of like, I don't choose to do those things anymore, because they have taken more energy from me than energy given to me. If it's deserved, then yes, you will get read very properly, neatly, and politely, and it will all be facts. That's just that, me knowing that I have a dark side, everyone does, but I'm not going to be, I think the word is frivolous with it, because when you choose light over darkness, you win each and every time. And it's discerning when to use those dark parts of you, not saying, oh, just go be a dark, low vibrational person every day and everywhere you go, because this is what the world is consumed of now. It's choosing when to use your light and your dark energy. Mostly using your light energy, because that is the best version of yourself, but knowing when your dark side is beneficial also. So again, check yourself, check your energy, check your light energy, check your dark energy, check up, down, side to side, wiggle around a little bit, shimmy shake, Millie Rock, Dougie, speeding. But no, really, you definitely have to check yourself. Overall, just check yourself. It's important. Check yourself, check your surroundings, check your energy, to make sure that when you step out the door, that you are not going to make a ripple effect of negativity or dark energy. Choosing to be optimistic every day is a choice. I know it's not the easiest choice, but I promise you, it's a good choice. It's the best choice. And not saying overcompensate and be over optimistic, because you need a balance in anything that you do. But again, check yourself. We all need it, right? Make sure you like, share, subscribe. I really do appreciate it. Peace, love, and happiness.